All right, this is your market recap for October 16th, 2025. As you can see today, we did play, well, a little slightly bearish. We didn't do a whole lot today. As you can see, we are also in this bit of a range here. Um, if we go down to the hour, you can see obviously the range. But what happened today is market opened yesterday night, 6 p.m. Sell side wick ran up here, took out this high. But ES did not, right? This all happened. New York session is when we took out this high. ES was still quite far away from it. And so if we pull up ES here, hourly time frame, you can see here, boom, this high right here, this one here, this one here, we didn't get it. So we swept that, bit of consolidation this morning, and then the 11 o'clock turnaround got us, and we went. Taking out all these lows here, taking out this low barely, as you can see here, same as this one. 21.5 handles, 20, so roughly swept it the same as this, which is most likely going to do exactly what the other one did here and just come right back up because we're in a range. But down to the 15-minute, I'll explain my bias for today. Initially, I was bullish, and that's initially. Market opened, rallied, took out this high, and I thought, oh, okay. I personally was looking for us to take out these lows first. And that's exactly what ES did, right? That's part of the consolidation. NQ kind of went horizontal. ES took the quick route down and took out these lows, creating an SMT, which further backed my desire to play bullish. But then I took a step back and said, okay, hold up. This high here got swept in NQ, but not ES, so higher time from SMT. What else do we know? We know that price is rallying, and we're rallying, and we're losing all volume. What does that mean? Usually, when we are rallying in any direction, up or down, and we start to lose all volume, it usually is followed by a move in the opposite direction. And in this case, bears. And that on top of this higher time frame SMT led me to the conclusion of playing bearish today. Now, nothing really much on the 15-minute other than that. You can see the macro here caused that reversal there. 15-minute fair value up here helped us with lunch, but other than that, not much happened. 5-minute, you can see, I mean, this is just a mess, right? Didn't take a trade here. I actually saw most of the moves. Like I mentioned, I'll talk about that more on the 1-minute because still can't really make anything of it on the 5-minute. But took out this low barely, rallied up above these highs again. Technically, as soon as we broke this high, it was an SMT, but we wanted to make it more dramatic. So we ran up, swept this high pretty significantly, and then that's where that SMT ended, and we started to tip over. Now we see here this 5-minute fair value gap right there, validated here with this rejection there, closed under it. We rallied back up into it. We have a little bit of a closure outside of it, but I'm okay with that. Also during the macro, this right here is trade of the day. Their short lunch started by retracing into this 5-minute and then coming all the way down through all of these lows down here, ending the day with this one after this little retrace here for lunch. And then once we hit this low, which was our target for the day, we returned back into the range. This is going to be a quick one because we went from consolidation to one huge move. Now, here's what I'm talking about. So although we're missing a candle, you don't really need to see it. It's just another bullish candle to come up here. So what ES did, let's pull up ES, 9:30. It's yesterday, forgive me. Here we are, 9:30. Boom, New York. So, as you can see here, we're kind of doing the same thing, but we're not. Market opened, we rallied, right, for 2 minutes. NQs was higher, and larger of an expansion. We started drifting lower, lower here. We had this SMT of this 930 candle um, until this hit. So if we pull up the 5 minute, this is actually what based it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Here. We see this. I saw a 5 minute somewhere that I marked. Where was it? Here. 5 minute inverse here. Validated here. Close below it. Back up into it. Go down to the 1 minute time frame once again. We can see here that perfect closure there. So we rallied up into this 5 minute, which was the draw for then. Trailed it down below this data wick here and these lows here. And then once we both took out that low, we then rallied upwards. Once again, we had those higher time frame SMT of this data wick here. At this point, rallied upwards, SMT of these highs here. Caused us to fall down, and then we just went into straight consolidation, right? There's not much to make of it here. We had SMTs of highs and lows and whatever during the macro, so that kind of told me to not trade it whatsoever. We then, at the end of the macro, expanded downwards, took out this low, this data wick, which was also an SMT with this low here, this 3 o'clock low, which is this one on NQ. And then from there, we rallied up, taking out, once again, AM sessions, previous high, also emphasizing this SMT there. And then, in my mind, this gets people, so we go from consolidation, slight manipulation, upwards. So this is tripping people in long. But what they don't see is that higher time frame SMT and that prices is coming up and we're rounding, right? We're rounding. Although we had this last little run here, it's not an expansion, it's a fake out move because that SMT is still there. Now we fall down during the macro. We have this high down here, SMT of these highs here. Macro started this retrace or reversal, I guess I'd call it at this point. Higher time frame SMT, or medium time frame SMT. It's not too high time frame. Lower time frame SMT, higher time frame bias with this one, and just the behavior of price action here. I'm assuming the change in the state of delivery is somewhere within this candle, but we call it there. Stops at constant encroachment. I personally wouldn't target anything lower than this this previous New York session low. Reason for that is because just the state that price has been in. But in all honesty, I probably would not take this. One, because I don't usually trade around this time. Two, because I'm just not a fan of this price action up until this point. However, if you knew exactly where price would go, boom, right there, 1 to 17. Pretty nice. And our final target for the day, if you draw it all the way down to there, you have a 1 to 28. But in all honesty, no one's holding for that. So let's be honest, I wouldn't hold it past that. So from there, you can see how nicely price is grouping around the high of this 5 minute with those SMTs, multiple confluences there. 5 minute here, nice reaction off constant encroachment, takes off to the downside, takes out low, 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 retrace upwards, staying around this 15 minute. Look at the grouping around that high, down once again, hit the target of the day, and then we come back into the range. Not much more than that. Going into the future, I mean, obviously we're in a range. So took out this low, immediately came back up. I think our next move is to come back higher. If we look in the weekly time frame, TGIF, the weekly retrace, is not necessary because we're nowhere near the weekly high. So yeah, I mean, really weird day. Kind of hard to take anything because price went from not looking too nice to a big expansion in a matter of minutes. And there wasn't really many retraces for you to enter. So we're in a range, it's clear. So obviously we'll have to see what happens between now and tomorrow before we actually say anything concrete. But I do think we're going to play bullish. So this has been your market recap for October 16th, 2025.